Hello dear students, I am Rajiv Saxena, Associate Professor, Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education, Indore. In today's video lecture, we'll discuss about the process of sterilization. Now the sterilization is the process of inactivation or elimination of all the viable form of organism. Viable here actually means the living form of any microorganism. So whatever the material we have, whatever the product we have, if we are trying to remove all the categories of the microorganism which are either in the form of the viable category or they are available in the form of the inactivated category, so we have to eliminate all these organisms from our sample. So that process is actually called as the sterilization process. The process of sterilization is very important, especially if we are talking about any pharmaceutical industry or pharmaceutical product. Like for example, if we take the case of parenteral products, we know that these are the products which are directly administered into systemic circulation. So, as per the regulatory guidelines, these kind of the product should be completely sterilized, means no microorganism or any microorganism in the viable form should be available in these type of preparation, because if the microorganism is available and if we are directly administering it into the systemic circulation, then definitely these organisms may causes any untoward reaction or any sort of infection or any hypersensitive reaction in our body. So during the process of its preparation, of its formulation, definitely these type of preparation are subjected to sterilization. Even if we talk about any other products apart from any parenteral product, like for example, if we are talking about the syrup, tablets and capsules, so in these type of product also, we need to check, we need to control the number of microorganism. It should not like be that these type of preparation can have as many number of the microorganism. Definitely, there are certain limits of the presence of microorganism even in those categories of the products which are not directly administered into the systemic circulation. So sterilization, especially if we talk about the pharmaceutical industries, is a very important subject that we need to study. Now, for the process of sterilization, there are different methods are available. Like for example, the sterilization by the use of heat, the sterilization by filtration, sterilization by radiation, sterilization by the use of different chemicals. So there are so many methods of sterilization is available, and generally these methods are chosen depending upon the type of material that we are going to be sterilized. So one by one, definitely we'll study all the different categories or all the different methods of sterilization. Now in today's lecture, we'll basically cover the sterilization by heat. Now sterilization by heat is considered to be the most economic and widely used method of sterilization. It is actually the physical method of sterilization. If we talk about the syllabus of PCI of microbiology, so in that syllabus it is given we have to study various physical, chemical and mechanical method of sterilization. So the sterilization by heat is actually the physical method of sterilization. Now, as discussed, like the sterilization by heat is a very easy, economic and widely used method. But again here, the sterilization by heat is performed in two ways. First, we can go for the use of the dry heat, and secondly, we can go for the use of moist heat sterilization method. Again, the choice depends upon the kind of the category of the material that we need to sterilize. So one by one we'll discuss about the dry heat sterilization process and the moist heat sterilization process. Now coming to the dry heat sterilization process, as the term itself is suggesting that it is a dry process, means here we are not going for the application of any moisture, application of any steam or application of any kind of water molecule. So the process is dry in nature. Now the dry heat sterilization process is again divided into two categories, that is either it can be performed by use of the flaming method or it can be performed by the use of hot air oven. Now flaming, it is a very conventional and common method of sterilization. It basically includes the incineration part. So whatever the material that we need to sterilize by the use of dry heat sterilization, especially by using the flame, so that material is actually subjected to the exposure to the flame. Now this can be explained by taking one very common example. Like in any microbiological laboratory, we use the inoculation loop. That inoculation loop is actually made up of some specialized wire material, that is nichrome. So suppose we want to sterilize that inoculation loop before its usage, then what we have to do? We have to expose that loop part, that wire part, over the flame. Till that nichrome wire will become red hot, and once it is red hot, it assures the sterilization of the inoculation loop. So red hot means we are exposing that part of the wire over the flame. So whatever the microorganism that may be available on the surface of the inoculation loop will get destroyed or killed because of its exposure to the flame. So definitely it is a dry heat method of sterilization. Now, one more method that is associated with the dry heat sterilization is by the use of the hot air oven. Now, hot air oven is again a very common instrument that is used in any microbiological laboratory and even in any pharmaceutical industry. So, as the name itself is suggesting that here we have to go for the circulation of the hot air. Now you can see in this diagram, this is the basic arrangement of a hot air oven. This hot air oven basically consists of the heating element that generates the heat, and the generated heat is circulated with the help of the available fan. So fan, the heat will be generated by the wires and various type of arrangement which is available in the hot air oven, and the fan which is available inside the hot air oven will circulate that dry heat inside the oven. You can also see that in this diagram there are perforated shelves available. So whatever the material that we have to sterilize is put on this perforated shelf arrangement. Now the most important point is, like for example, if you are using a hot air oven, then what should be the temperature and the time conditions that assures the complete sterilization of that material. So here we have to remember, if we are using a hot air oven, then the temperature condition should be at least 180 degrees centigrade for 2 hours, or we can also go for the use of 260 degrees centigrade for 45 minutes. I mean, this type of setting is very essential if we have to go for the assurance that whatever the material that we have put inside the hot air oven is get sterilized. We are not considering about the drying process. Drying is actually just the removal of the water, but here we are actually performing the sterilization process. It means we have to go for the removal, inactivation, elimination of all the viable category of the microorganism. Here we are not drying the material, but here we are sterilizing the material. And for the sterilization, at least this much exposure of the temperature and this much exposure of the time is necessary in order to assure that the material inside the hot air oven is get completely sterilized. So what we have to remember, for dry heat sterilization, dry heat means here we are not using any kind of moisture. The heat is in the form of the dry state, and two common dry heat sterilization processes are either by the use of the flame, and second most common method is by the use of the hot air oven. And in hot air oven, what we have to remember, the temperature and the time condition. The temperature at least should be 180 degrees centigrade for 2 hours or 260 degrees centigrade for 45 minutes. Now, coming to the next sterilization process that is related with the heat, that is called as the moist heat sterilization. Again, the name itself is suggesting that here we are using the moist heat. Means here we have to go for the application of some sort of moisture, water or steam. Now, if we compare the dry heat sterilization process with the moist heat sterilization process, then definitely we can say that the moist heat sterilization process is more effective as compared to that of the dry heat sterilization, since it is observed that the penetration power of the moist heat is more as compared to that of the dry heat. So if we compare the usage or its application inside the microbiological laboratory or pharmaceutical industry, then definitely we will find that the moist heat sterilization process is more adopted as compared to that of the dry heat sterilization. Now, the moist heat sterilization process is further again divided into three categories. Either we are using the moist heat below 100 degrees centigrade, or we are using the moist heat at 100 degrees centigrade, or we are using the moist heat above 100 degrees centigrade. So depending upon the temperature of moist heat, there are three different variations of moist heat sterilization. The first variation is below 100 degrees centigrade. Actually here we are not calling it as a sterilization, but rather here we call it as a pasteurization. It means it is actually the process of reduction of the microorganism that may causes any spoilage to the material that is subjected to pasteurization. The most common example is the pasteurization of the milk. But again, here we have to remember the temperature and the time condition. If we are exposing the material, like for example, if we are having a milk and we have to protect the milk from the spoilage, then what method that will be preferred? That is the pasteurization process. Because if we will boil the milk, if we will heat the milk to a very higher extent, then definitely it will alter the taste of the milk. So what we have to do, we have to go for the reduction in the count of the microorganism that may be involved in the spoilage of the milk. So we'll use the pasteurization process, but again what should be the temperature and the time condition? The temperature should be 63 degrees centigrade and the exposure time should be 30 minutes, or else we can go for the exposure to 72 degrees centigrade for 15 seconds. So if we will maintain this temperature and the time condition, so the process of pasteurization will run and all the microorganisms that may be associated with the spoilage of these food categories, especially your milk, may be reduced. So here we have to differentiate that pasteurization is not sterilization. Sterilization is actually the complete removal of all the viable form of the microorganism, whereas if we are talking about the pasteurization, here we are actually reducing the count of the microorganism that may be involved in the spoilage. Now coming to the next moist heat sterilization process, that is sterilization at 100 degree centigrade. Definitely if we are subjecting any material at 100 degree centigrade, so it is actually the boiling process that is taking place. Even it is observed in Indian pharmacopoeia, it also says that if we are boiling any injection with chlorocresol 0.2% weight by volume or phenyl mercuric acetate 0.002% weight by volume, then that boiling with these categories of the chemicals may help in the sterilization of that particular product. So boiling is again a very conventional method. It is also observed in our home also. Like if we boil the water, then we generally say in our home that because of the boiling, all the microorganisms which are involved in the infection will be killed or will be reduced. And even it is observed conventionally in the compounding area or in the hospital that the needles and the syringes, they are boiled. So the boiling actually used in this type of arrangement is for the destruction of the microorganism that may causes any infection. But the most important moist heat sterilization process is by above 100 degrees centigrade by the use of a specialized instrument which is called as autoclave. Now autoclave is a very important instrument. It is widely used and it is very easy to operate, and especially if you are talking about the microbiological laboratory or pharmaceutical industry, then the sterilization by moist heat is very common, and in this category the sterilization with the help of the autoclave is again the very common method of sterilization. Now coming to autoclave, autoclave is a specialized machine that actually assures the sterilization of the material that we are going to be sterilized. Like for example, if we have prepared any nutritional media, or maybe if we have prepared some injection and we have to go for the sterilization, so maybe the sterilization by the use of the autoclave can be the most convenient method of sterilization. So what we have to do, this is actually the basic arrangement of an autoclave. So whatever the material that we have to sterilize is kept inside the autoclave. It may be your media, it can be your pharmaceutical product, any material that we have to sterilize, it is put inside the autoclave. Then we have to close the lid of the autoclave and we have to switch on the autoclave. Now autoclave is actually an example of the moist distillation. So inside the autoclave we have to fill the water, because this water will be subjected to the exposure to the heat, and then this water will be converted into vapors or into the steam, and that steam is actually responsible for the sterilization. So before putting this material that is to be sterilized, first we have to fill the autoclave with water, then we have to fill the material that is to be sterilized, and we have to close the lid of an autoclave. Now once the autoclave will be switched on, then what will happen? The water will be converted into steam. And because of the conversion of the water into the steam, what will happen? The pressure inside the autoclave will be increased, because since there is no vent is available and we are closing the lid, so whatever the steam that will be generated will enhances the pressure inside the autoclave. So when the temperature is around 115 degrees centigrade to 116 degrees centigrade and the pressure inside the autoclave is 10 psi, and time of exposure is 30 minutes, then this condition is actually responsible for the sterilization process. There are so many variations are available, like we can go for the temperature 121 to 123 degrees centigrade, then the pressure will be 15 psi and the time of exposure will be 15 minutes. We can also go for the temperature at 126 degrees centigrade, 129, then pressure will be 20 psi and the time of exposure will be 10. We can also choose the temperature 134 to 138 degrees centigrade, pressure 32, and then the time of exposure will be 3. Then what we can see, as you are increasing the temperature, what is happening? The pressure is increasing. But when the temperature and pressure is increasing, what is reducing? The time of exposure is reducing. But if we compare all these different arrangements, then what we will find that the exposure to 121 degrees centigrade, 15 minutes and 15 psi pressure and 15 minutes is most commonly used in the laboratory for the sterilization process. So what we have to do is what we have to do inside the autoclave. We have to first fill the water, then whatever the material that we have to sterilize, we have to put inside it, then we have to close the lid, we have to switch on, then what will happen? The water will be converted into steam, and because of the penetration of the steam inside the material that is subjected to sterilization, what will happen? And there is no vent is available, so what will happen? The pressure will be increased. So the combination of the enhancement of the temperature for the formation of the steam and the pressure is actually responsible for the destruction of all the categories of the viable form of microorganism. And as said earlier, like if we are comparing the dry heat with the moist distillation, we can easily see that in case of the dry heat is generated and fan is circulating that dry heat. But here in this case, the steam is generated, and because of the steam, the pressure inside the autoclave is more and the penetration power of the steam is very high if we compare it with the dry heat. So we can say that the moist sterilization is more better as compared to that of the dry heat sterilization. But again, it depends upon the type of material that we need to sterilize. For example, if we have the sample like milk, then we have to go for the pasteurization process. The boiling is again a very common method of sterilization. But if we are talking about any pharmaceutical industry or any microbiological experiment, then most commonly we can go for the use of an autoclave. So this is actually the summary of different categories of the sterilization by heat, either by the dry heat sterilization or by use of the moist heat sterilization. In case of dry heat, we have to go for the use of flaming process or by the use of the hot air oven. And if you are talking about the moist heat sterilization, it can be below 100 degrees centigrade, that is pasteurization, or at 100 degrees centigrade, that is by the boiling process. And if you are talking about above 100 degrees centigrade, then we have to go for the use of autoclave, and different conditions of autoclave is prescribed here. And but the most common condition is 121 degree centigrade temperature, 15 psi pressure, and the time of exposure is 15 minutes.